Hey, what's going on, people of the internet? I have heard too many horror stories of people being ripped off online when buying stuff, especially in regards to my channel, collectibles, currency, or precious metals. So I thought, let's make a video and talk about different types of scams, kind of main ones that I see in the currency collecting and collectibles world. And really, it might pertain to just anything if you buy anything online, and will hopefully help you avoid some of these scams or being ripped off. To talk about like why it's important to me, not too long ago, I just wanted to save up and get an espresso machine. I'm a coffee addict, and I spent, I hate to say, close to $2,000 buying an espresso machine. I thought I bought an espresso machine, and I waited and waited. Tracking said it was delivered, no box. Long story short, it turned out to be a total scam. That seller had done that tons and tons of times. That'll be the last time I buy anything big like that from, I hate to say, Amazon. And I was out over $1,800 for more than a month. That I basically was called a liar to cut from customer service and all this stuff. It was a horrible, horrible situation. And really, it all came back to one thing only. I was an uninformed buyer, and I naively bought from a seller that just I could have done the research and seen that it was too good to be true. So back to the scams in the coin world and precious metals world. Sadly, there is a ton of scams out there, and right now it's even caught the attention of the FBI on a public level, where they said at over 2024 there's been a large scam that's come up where people are posing to be reputable sellers using words like federal, mint. There's even TV, kind of HGTV stuff, and they're preying upon new collectors of any age, uninformed collectors of any age, and sadly, kind of older folks and stuff. So now, I don't know what age constitutes old. I don't really look at it that way, but they said that there's a lot of people that still buy over TV ads and over internet, kind of direct in your face internet ads, as well as calls over the phone. So the FBI put out an announcement that said that they are really looking into it, and they think it's in the tune of like almost $9 million that's been stolen from people by these scams where people essentially do completely counterfeit company. They use these federal, really professional looking websites, and they pop up, and they're basically these fly by night precious metals dealers, and they're seeing it a lot with silver and gold, and then they're preying upon these people, kind of going off politics and news. They use scare tactics, and they use predatory selling tactics. Things like fear tactics, such as using current news or political climate to say that a precious metal is going to skyrocket in a couple of years. You should buy it now or you're a total idiot. And some people fall for that. They don't really vet the company, and they'll spend thousands. So they think they've scammed anywhere between like 100 and probably 1,000 or so people with this. So it goes to the major ode of buying from a reputable dealer. If you're willing to pay the premiums, you can go through the big companies like Littleton or NGC or PCGS. You'll pay a bit more for stuff, but you do get the safety of, in most cases, being covered by a huge company like that. So that's one scam, is these fake companies that are cropping up. So it really goes to just be an informed buyer and buy from a reputable company. If you're buying from somewhere like eBay or Amazon, don't do it like me and get so excited to buy the item. You're like, what a steal, it's $1,000 cheaper. And it was just too good to be true. I didn't do the research, and I did eventually get my money back, which is great. But it took a lot of hard fighting on my behalf of proving to them with bank statements, messages, finding information. I became into a private investigator for a period to find info to prove to them that I really bought the item and never got it. That's another major scam. Is back in the day they called it rocks in a box. There's probably other names. It's where people would actually, on the converse, return items to a store I worked at, and it would be a similar but not the item they bought. They'd buy a new version, they bring last year's model, turn it in. But that's another thing, is shipping scams. I'm going to have a video talking all about shipping, receiving, and selling stuff, and shipping it and sending it and blah, 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 through different mail providers, but primarily how to securely package them. And then on this end, scams out there. There's a lot of sellers, mainly on Amazon and on Facebook, through Facebook Marketplace now, with so many ads on Facebook that are totally fake. They never send you the item, or they send you like an envelope. I've even heard horror stories, man, how pissed I would be, that people received a photo picture printout of the precious metal silver bar that they bought, and not the actual item. Oh, I sent you the silver bar, way down in the fine print, it's just a picture. How furious would you be if that's what you received? But that is happening. So again, it's back to the reputable sellers. The next major scam is, of course, an oldie goldie with any collectible. That is counterfeit coins, counterfeit banknotes, things of that like. It really is, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. It's the major ways you can tell is you just need to be an informed buyer. In most cases, they put these coupled with fake slabs for coins. So it'll look like an NGC, PCGS slab or whatever, and it even has a serial number on it. Make sure you always check the serial numbers of slabs for graded coins that you might buy, trading cards, really anything that's graded in a plastic encapsulation. So check that, because a lot of the times it's at physical expositions, conventions, coin conventions and sales, collectibles conventions, that you'll see people trying to peddle these cheap graded cards by either no-name companies that you can't even reference in a lot of cases, or it'll be just a notable company, but the slab looks off. Generally in the labeling, the coloring's not right, and you just want to reference the serial numbers. Of course, there's always counterfeit items in general. These are going to be those, fly-by-night, quick sell. They're way too cheap compared to what they normally sell for, If you have a true Action Comics #1, it ain't selling for $1,000 to somebody if it's actually real, unless it's totally trashed. But and the same goes for any other collectible, not to mention coins, precious metals, and things of the like. The other major one in precious metals is that there's fake bars and fake bullion out there. So what they'll do is they'll basically, it is a coated or plated bar. So you think you're buying pure silver, and you'll see a lot of the times these are with predatory sales tactics that get you to buy them now, right? So it's like, buy 5, get 2 free. There's, again, not a lot of situations where you're going to get such a discount on whatever it is you're buying, and you just want to really look into it, look at reviews, look at the rapport of the company and the history, and see if that's something they've done before, or has that seller done that before. Because there's even instances on like Facebook selling groups that thousands of people have done fine buying and selling on, where somebody gets hacked and their profile gets hacked, and somebody goes in there and starts selling stuff, and that's the instance. It's not even the real person. So if it looks out of the norm for a seller, then maybe be wary about buying it. The last scam is more for the modern coins, and that is altering them. So it's similar to kind of refurbishing a comic, like a comic book, redoing the coloring, using inks and so forth on the original item, and then selling it as if it hasn't been refurbished. It's going on in the coin world. It's getting really bad, and there's lots of instances of people getting ripped off through all the aforementioned selling types, even in person. Local coin shops, some of these things look so good, especially the ones with toning and color additives, that even local shops can be duped and start selling them. The major thing is you can tell usually that the colors are too uniform when it comes to, say, something with really nice toning to it. The other thing is, if you're really into things like that, coloration of coins, varieties like that, that are going to be up there in price, I would go for graded coins, or I would go from just a straight up reputable seller that I've bought other stuff from, kind of unattached to those things, and somebody I already trust and have a history with. I think at the end of this, with all the scams and stuff that are out there, there's dozens of other ones. But these are major ones that I see and ones that you can avoid. So hopefully I gave you some info about avoiding these scams. In the end, I think there's one thing you should take away from this video, which is really at the end of it, it's on us, right? When I go to buy something, I got to be an informed buyer. I got to look into my seller, the item, make sure it's what I want, make sure it really is as advertised, and there's nothing hinky going on where I'm going to be ripped off for my hard earned money. Same for you, and same for if you're going to be a seller. There's ways that you can protect yourself to not be ripped off, and we can talk about that in another video. But let me know of other scams and stuff you might have come across as a buyer online for really any item, especially if you've bought in coins or precious metals or banknotes and you've had a bad experience. Let us know about it and ways that you've protected yourself since then. And if you have good ideas on places to buy stuff from, then let us know. I'll talk to you in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.